to my Flagstaff home. I am here today to give you a recipe for making a lotion bar that specifically uses an essential oil called blue tansy. You can switch this out. You don't have to use blue tansy. I thought I would try this because, well, first of all, blue tansy smells really good, but it also gives the lotion bar a blue tint because the oil is blue. But you can switch it out. You could make it with lavender or any fragrances you really want to. But it's very easy to use, and it's just a bar that it's solid lotion. And when you use it, you can just like set it in your bathroom on a little tray, and then you just kind of rub it around in your hands, warm it up a little bit, and rub it around, and it does a really nice job of moisturizing your hands. But they're super easy to make, great to give as gifts, and I'd love to show you how to do it, so let's go.
Okay, so I'm going to start with a mason jar that I'm going to use for melting this stuff. And I will not use this mason jar for putting food in the future. I'm just going to clean it out in between things that I make and use it for melting the different ingredients. And so I'm going to start with shea butter, and I have a block of shea butter here. And sorry for all this other stuff I have out. But anyway, so the recipe I'm using calls for 25 grams of shea butter. Now, if you don't have a scale that measures grams, this comes to just under 1/4 of a cup of shea butter. So I'm going to put that in here. Okay, next the recipe calls for 20 grams of beeswax. And I have these little beeswax pellets that I get, and 20 grams that I measured out on my scale comes to just under 1/4 cup of these little pellets. And I'm going to dump them in this jar. In coconut oil, and this is, as you can see, 100% pure, cold pressed, unrefined, and so this is the kind that actually gets solid at room temperature. And so you don't want to use like this right here. This kind is liquid. It always stays in a liquid form, and since we're making a bar, we do want it to firm up. So we're going to use this kind instead. My recipe calls for 35 grams of coconut oil, and so I measured that out and smushed it in here, and once again, it's a little under 1/4 of a cup of those things in here, the shea butter, the coconut oil, and the beeswax. So now I'm heating up some water, and I'm just going to stick this in here in the saucepan of water. I'm trying to create kind of a double boiler effect, and as this warms up, then I'm just going to keep stirring it until it's completely melted. So you can see here the water's boiling, not at a rolling boil, but it's definitely boiling in there, and this is starting, it's going to steam up the camera here, but it's starting to melt, and I just keep stirring it until it's completely, all the little pieces, we want all the little pieces to be melted. So the next thing I'm going to add is, and this is optional, but this is rosehip oil, which is really nice for moisturizing your skin. And so, like I said, it's optional, but you put in 40 drops of this rosehip oil. And then you're going to put in a combination of essential oils that adds up to 40. So you don't want to put more than 40 drops. Your concentration needs to be, you know, you need to have a good concentration, but you don't want to have too much. So what I'm going to do is use blue tansy. I'm going to use 15 drops of blue tansy. I'm going to use 15 drops of lavender, and then I'm going to use 10 drops of cedar wood. Such a nice blue color that does not stain your skin when you use this, by the way. Now the next thing I'm going to do is pour this into my mold. And now that it's in the mold, I'm just going to leave it here on the counter for 5 or 10 minutes. I could just leave it the whole time to make it harden, which would take, you know, probably 20 minutes or so. But after it kind of gets a little bit solid, Then I'm gonna take it and put it in the refrigerator and then just let it stay in there for, I don't know, about a half an hour until it's nice and firm. And then I can pop it out of the mold after that. And then after I pop it out of the mold, I'm gonna let it sit for another 24 hours to really set.
Well, there you have it. Not very difficult to make, and it looks so pretty, doesn't it? So depending on the kind of mold you use, you can get pretty little shapes out of them, or you could just do it in a basic square. But since it is a lotion bar and you are going to be using it in your hands, you want to make sure that the mold you use is a little smaller, or take a larger square if that's what you used as your mold, and cut it. But you can also put them in little silicone muffin tins, muffin cups, and those pop out really easily from there, and those are nice and small if you have the small kind, and any kind of little mold will work. But so I hope you'll give it a try and let me know what you think. And I'd love to see you here again on my Flagstaff home. So if you're not a current subscriber, hit the subscribe button and also hit the bell icon, and YouTube will let you know when I upload new videos. So I hope I'll see you again. Take care. Bye.